under the soil. While it is easy to locate graves in a cemetery with headstones, unless a person has been trained in archaeology, an unmarked grave may not be immediately obvious. Most burials are first noticed as stains on the surface of the subsoil. When people bury a body, they dig a pit called a grave shaft. After placing the body in the grave, they fill in the shaft with the soil that has been removed. Because the backfill soil contains the mixed soils of the excavated layers, it is a different color than the soil that forms on the walls of the grave shaft. The result is a stain that remains even centuries later. When archaeologists uncover a soil stain that approaches 6 feet, 2 meters long, by 2 feet, 0.6 meters wide, about the length and width of an adult human body or its coffin, they become fairly confident they have found a grave. The caption for the picture on page 19. This diagram shows the locations of the graves found in the cemetery that was 700 feet or 213 meters away from the fort. The caption for the picture on the top of page 20. The rectangular dark soil stains indicate grave shafts. The grave shaft parallel to the western palisade wall contains the remains that were later labeled JR 1225B. Such a stain was the first sign of a grave that contained the teenage boy, whose bones were later examined by Doug Ousley. As the archaeologists scraped the subsoil surface, their trowels exposed a dark area. They scraped the soil further until they had exposed the complete stain. It was sized and shaped perfectly for a human grave. At this point, the team shifted to a standard procedure for grave excavations. First, we take a photo of the stain of the grave shaft, explained William Kelso. The photograph serves as a permanent record of the appearance of the stain prior to excavation. Next, soil is removed and placed in buckets. As each of the buckets is taken out of the grave shaft, its contents are sifted through a mesh screen with holes measuring 0.25 inches or 6.4 millimeters on each side. As Kelso noted, we screened every bit of grave shaft soil to ensure that not even the tiniest artifact is overlooked. Some artifacts, buttons and coins, for example, can be dated, which helps to establish a time frame for the burial. In the Chesapeake area, most 17th century colonial skeletons are buried at a depth of 2.5 to 4 feet, 0.8 to 1.2 meters. We never know exactly how deeply buried the individual is going to be, explained Hudgens, so we have to use caution. As the archaeologist reaches the depth where remains are first likely to be encountered, the pace of work slows. The archaeologists keep their eyes peeled for all signs of burial, not just bones. They look for surviving remnants of coffins, such as bits of wood or nails. Such objects may provide useful information when they analyze it in the laboratory. In the case of the teenage boy's grave, however, the archaeologists found no evidence of a coffin. As the excavation of the shaft progressed, the team's anticipation grew. No matter how high the level of excitement may be at an archaeological dig, nothing can be permitted to disrupt the meticulous use of scientific methods and procedures. Proper excavation requires that every feature and found object be given a unique identifying number. The grave Hudgens was excavating was designated JR 1225. The initials stand for Jamestown Rediscovery, while the number represents the complete grave as a specific feature. Unique features and objects found within the grave would be assigned a letter in order of discovery. The first of these, the soil that filled the grave shaft, was JR 1225A. Hudgens dug further until a flash of tan caught his eye. As he wiped away the soil, he saw a bone. The Jamestown Rediscovery Project was about to meet JR 1225B.